Hi, this is the first of a series of videos I want to make about my experience of having two detached retina, one in each eye, obviously. As I say, I'm going to make a few videos. This first video is purely going to talk about the experience of what I first experienced prior to the first retinal detachment. And ignore this has nothing to do with the detached retina itself, although it is indirectly related to it. This is actually from cataract surgery, which I've just had, but that's another issue and I'll deal with that in another video. So what I wanted to talk about in this video is how I first perceived the onset of the retinal detachment. This was actually over a year ago now. It was around about June of last year, and the first that I really became conscious of it, it was a Monday. I was heading up to meet some friends to go for a walk in the hills in the Highlands of Scotland. I was on the train, and I remember looking out the window and seeing some birds, sort of small flock of birds up in the sky. Not really thinking too much of it, then looking back and actually realising they can be birds because they're still in the same place even though the train was going very fast. So I realised that that's not birds I'm seeing, little dark specks, and I realised it was actually in my vision rather than something I was seeing outside. So that was kind of strange and not especially alarming to me at the time. You know, I've occasionally see some strange things floating around in my eyes, but I'd never seen dark specks before. And the other thing about them was that they were almost like their movement was, they were kind of raining down, not across the whole of my vision, but just in a certain portion of my vision. So that alerted to me as well, the sort of movement they were making, something I'd never seen before. It was different to what's known as floaters, which just sort of slowly float around in your vision. These were behaving differently. So that was the first thing I noticed. That was on the Monday. I forget exactly, but by the evening I'd forgotten about it. Probably it had gone away, I wasn't seeing it by then. The next thing I remember is on the Tuesday, I guess Tuesday morning, I'm not sure, I started noticing a slight shadowy area in the bottom of my vision. It started off a very small portion of my vision. I would, almost like the top of a large circular area, just moving into my vision, and it gradually, very slowly got larger. I probably didn't notice until the next day that it got larger, but I guess that's what it was doing very gradually. When I say shadowy area, you know, it wasn't completely black. It was like a shadow, and actually when I blinked my eyes, I became more aware of it, and I think that was when I realised it was, you know, it was just in one eye, not the other. The next day, which was the Wednesday, I remember going to work, sitting down at my computer, and, well, I'm actually not sure, it may have been the day after, this may be the Thursday, so I think maybe there was 2 days of this very slight shadowiness, and then by the third day of the shadow, which was the Thursday, I really started to notice it more. And I remember sitting down at my computer and about to start work and just thinking, you know, I shouldn't be ignoring this anymore. It's, whatever it is hasn't gone away. In fact, it's getting larger. By this stage, it was maybe occupying the bottom sort of, I don't know, 15-20% of my vision. I had a feeling it was something to do with detached retina. I don't know why, it just wasn't something I'd read about before, but I just had a sort of feeling that maybe that's the kind of thing that would happen with a detached retina. I called up the NHS helpline, described my symptoms to them, and very much they said, you know, you need to go to hospital, accident and emergency, straight away. So that's exactly what I did. That whole experience I'm going to describe in another video, but really this was just to talk about the initial sort of signs, warning signs I had about the first detached retina. The second detached retina in my other eye, in my left eye, which occurred 2 or 3 months later, the symptoms were quite different, so I'm going to talk about them in a separate video, but it's just to let you know symptoms aren't always the same, it just depends how the detachment starts, I guess. And as I say, check out my other video and you'll hear a description of slightly different symptoms for my left eye.